fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another Metallicast mini. You know, I woke up this morning with absolutely no intention of recording anything. My plan was, and still is, to record a full length this coming week for release this coming week. But I also was not planning on waking up to the news that Vinnie Paul is dead. Now, I know this is a Metallica podcast, but I also like to celebrate heavy metal and hard rock in general. And Vinnie Paul and Pantera have a special place in my heart as I grew up listening to them. My best friend, who played guitar in the metal band I was in high school, he joined the army after graduation, and he ended up dying in Iraq. And his all-time favorite band was Pantera. And I remember being in high school, and the two of us would get into constant arguments about which band was better, Metallica or Pantera. And we both agreed we had valid arguments for our respective favorite bands. And it was all in good fun as we were both fans of both bands. But when my buddy would say, you know, Vinnie Paul is a better drummer than Lars Ulrich, that was a hard thing to argue with. And my buddy was not a Lars basher, nor am I. I think Lars is a fantastic, very underrated drummer for a variety of reasons. And I think he is the perfect drummer for Metallica. And that band would not exist without him. But from a pure technical standpoint, Vinnie Paul was the superior drummer. And I always admired the production that Vinnie Paul would get on his drums on each Pantera record. I loved the sound of his drums. And truth be told, if I had to name my two favorite rhythm sections in the history of heavy metal, it would quite possibly be Bill Ward and Geezer Butler, of course, from Black Sabbath, and Rex Brown and Vinnie Paul from Pantera. Having one guitar in the band, not only did Dimebag Darrell have to have a huge guitar sound, but Rex Brown and Vinnie Paul had to really fill up all the bottom end in that band. And the grooves that Pantera would write and perform, that was all Vinnie Paul and Rex Brown. And of course, speaking of Dimebag Darrell, I was super sad when, well, give you a little backstory, I guess, before I get too far ahead. Another great friend of mine from high school, getting bombarded with text messages and phone calls. And I remember waking up to the news of one of my good friends from high school calling me over and over again to try to get a hold of me. And when I finally answered, he told me that Dimebag Darrell was dead, and I immediately went online. I just needed to have some kind of confirmation that it was true. And that memory came flooding back to me because that was the same feeling I had this morning when I saw that Vinnie Paul had died. I really do not want to make this too long. Do not want to go too in depth about Vinnie Paul, his life, his music. I just wanted to record this to get some feelings out because I've been feeling really down all morning about this news. And most importantly, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the music. Thank you for the inspiration, the influence. I had the pleasure and the privilege of seeing Pantera live multiple times and always prayed that they would play fucking Hostile so I could hear that badass Vinnie Paul fill. If you are a Pantera fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you are not a Pantera fan, shame on you. But I'm going to actually play fucking Hostile from the album Vulgar Display of Power, my all-time favorite Pantera album. I think it is their best work from start to finish. I'm going to actually play that song at the end of this podcast just as a tribute. And let's end on a semi-fun note, I guess. Vinnie Paul was also a big Metallica fan. Him and Dimebag Darrell would even party with the band back in the early days. And I remember reading not too long ago when Hardwired to Self-Destruct came out, it seems whenever Metallica releases a new album, they being the metal rock journalists, always want to ask prominent figures of the genre what they think about the new Metallica song or the new Metallica album, whether it be a member of Pantera or a member of Slayer or a member of Megadeth or a member of Anthrax or anybody else. And I remember Vinnie Paul saying that he loved Hardwired. I believe the quote was, and forgive me if I'm quoting wrong, but I believe the quote was, it sounds slamming, man, which if you've ever read an interview by Vinnie Paul or seen an interview by Vinnie Paul, definitely sounds like something that would come from his big personality. So please follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Metallicast Pod. I'm going to be recording a full length this week, and it should be a lot happier than this mini episode. But like I said, I wanted to get some feelings out there. I'm sure I know that there are a lot of metalheads this morning that are feeling the same way or even worse. And again, thank you, Vinnie Paul, for your music. Rest in peace.
1, 2, 3, 4. Almost every day, I see the same face. A broken picture too. It fits the attitude. If you can see yourself, you put you on a shelf. Your verbal masturbate, promise to nauseate. Today I play the part of not parent. Not make 100 rules for you to know about yourself. Not lie, make you believe what's evil. It's making love and making friends and meaning God's your own way. The right way to see, to bleed, cannot be done. In turn, you're making us fucking lost.
not experts.